Welcome to the NFL. Let's go! Let's go! Go!
Welcome in. Jeremy Popielarz here with you after a week hiatus. Apologies, I wasn't able to make those quarterfinals stream, but we're here for the semifinals where it gets hard, it gets tight, and those pushings of the buttons get even harder. And also comes into play when we also had some players lay some serious duds in the first three games of the week. I guess we'll put it that way. Good morning, David. How are you? Definitely some duds. Definitely some players you felt the almost need to start there in the first couple games, and they kind of fell out for us, especially if you're streaming Colby Parkinson. Like somebody wouldn't be me, was me. Parkinson got us, Jordan Love, another one, big dud there, obviously with the injury. Josh Jacobs didn't have the best day either, so plenty of potentials from behind. If you had Puka Nacua, you're sitting pretty. If you had JSN, you're probably sitting pretty. Matthew Stafford, some big week starters there for us. So yeah, as we head into Sunday here, should be a lot of fun. Gonna be here for a bit. We're gonna answer some questions. We're gonna talk some football, and we'll move towards that slate and hopefully get some wins here for us. David, thoughts on Aaron Jones this week? Yeah, I still like Aaron Jones. Like you said, Mason's kind of the goal line guy. I like both this week. Mason's obviously only viable with the touchdown. Jones has a little bit more safety net. He's an RB2 for me here with Aaron Jones. Mason's a high-end 3, so I like both depending on who you're debating between. But yeah, I think there's a good shot. And obviously Jones can score from out. Doesn't have to be necessarily the goal line touches for Aaron Jones. So still like him. Easy 7-1-4, full PPR, pick 2, Woody Marks, Estime, Warren, and Pickens. I know Pickens has soured in taste a little bit over the last few weeks, but I'm still starting George Pickens. A little bit tougher matchup, but probably still starting him amongst this group. Woody Marks scares me with the injury. Jalen Warren up against that Detroit defense, not ideal. It's been a little softer over the last few weeks, but I'm not loving that with the split with Gainwell. So I'll probably go Pickens, and honestly, Estime. I like the spot for him. Should have a pretty fair handle of the workload. Hall will probably be involved. I do see this as a more competitive game than a lot of these games, just based on the fact it's Jets Saints. So I could see that being a little bit. Estimate potentially finds the end zone. That's our hope, I guess. There, easy 7-1-4. So I'd probably go Estimate and Pickens for you there. Usual housekeeping, kind of skip that there in the general beginning. You can head on over to the start sit thread. I'm going to read some of those questions off. If you don't see it, that's where those are coming from. You can obviously drop them on the stream itself via YouTube and or X. Those I can pull up, much like David's and EC714. So your choice. Feel free, toss them in there. We'll get through to them. Speaking of which, let's head on over there. Little old bear start to Shakir, Kincaid, Egbuka, and Monty. So I still am in on Egbuka. I know it's a tough situation, crowded room, etc. Still a guy that you got to almost start in situations like this. I'd probably go Kincaid. I know there wasn't much practice for Kincaid, and we saw Dawson Knox kind of have a big day last week. The tight ends are kind of the only really go-to here in this passing attack outside of Shakir. But in this matchup, feels like the tight ends are probably a better matchup for the Bills than the wide receiver position. So I'm going to go there. Craig Schumacher over on X, Breece Hall, Stephon Diggs, or Jalen Coker. Breece Hall for me. Again, another guy. It's been a couple down weeks. Like the spot against New Orleans. Could potentially find the end zone there. So I like Hall. Zach Tracy, pick 2, Harvey, Marks, Breece, Estime. So I will go with Harvey. I like Harvey, top 15 option for me this week. And then Breece Hall again, top 20 option. It's hard to sit Breece when you have in that tier of running back 2 territory. Hard to sit him down. The upside's just a little bit too big in that Jets offense. Craig Timmons, need to Woody injured, Jacoby, Worthy, Butte, Coker. I like Jacoby today a lot. I feel BTJ will see most of Surtain. Jacoby's probably going to be the go-to in that passing attack for the Jaguars. So I'm there with Jacoby. And I like Coker this week. I do against Tampa Bay. We saw him score the touchdown last week. Playing second fiddle to T-Mac. I like that spot for him. So I do like Coker against a weaker Tampa Bay secondary and what is going to be a very critical game for Tampa Bay and Carolina. Lou Pro, Shakir, or Fannin have been playing Fannin, but Buffalo's good against tight ends. They are very good against tight ends. I will go Shakir here for Lou. I don't love either of these guys, to be honest. I don't think that either have a huge day. Maybe they do. But I just think Fannin, like you said, kind of can get shut down by the Bills. And Shakir doesn't really excite me because the Bills' passing attack doesn't. I think the Bills will be able to run the ball in Cleveland. And I think you'll see a lot of James Cook, much like we saw last week against New England. So I think that's their path. That's what they're likely going to try to do, command the trenches and force it upon the Browns as opposed to try to drop back and just chuck it. So that's where I'm at as far as that goes. Burrow, or Lawrence. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. David Dombrowski, full PPR. Need one running back, one wide receiver. Aaron and Marvin Harrison Jr. or Carter and Addison. Don't think it would be smart to start both Vikings. Agree. Get that. Also, quarterbacks per set if that makes a difference. I don't really go crazily in this territory when you're starting to get into guys that are close. You can use those as tiebreakers, like depending on who's your quarterback, their quarterback, etc. That stuff like that. It's really a fine tuning thing. I don't really weigh those heavily when I make my decisions. But I would say the running back, I would definitely start Aaron Jones for sure over Michael Carter. I like Carter, but I'm not pushing him into my lineups, if that makes sense. And then the wide receiver, I would probably go Marvin Harrison. They're very similar, Harrison and Addison. Kind of a coin flip. Addison's just JJ hasn't been great. Harrison's injured. If Harrison wasn't injured, he'd be the easy start there. So I'm going to go with Aaron Jones and Marvin Harrison there for you, David. Oscar, full flex, Marks or Fannin, Lost Rice and Addison, Pat Bryant or Hollywood. Had JSN go already. Estimate is on waivers. Should I get him and start him over Fannin? I honestly, Oscar. I think I would grab Estimate if you have room to grab him somewhere. I don't know who you would have to drop, but I would. Marks just concerns me with the injury. I like Marks. I like the matchup. I think it's a solid spot, but you got Chubb coming back. Jawar Jordan had a big day without Marks. Marks will supersede Jordan ultimately, but the question comes is like, does he stay healthy the game? Like a little bit of concern there with Marks, which you could avoid by going to Estimate. Obviously could get hurt at any point. We've seen that with injuries, but I do lean to Estimate a little bit. Opposed to Fannin and Marks. Just don't like the spot for Fannin, and then Marks' injury is a little concerning. As far as your Pat Bryant or Hollywood Brown, I would probably go Bryant maybe. Hollywood, I can see the argument of path to targets. I just don't know if I trust Minshew a ton. So I'm probably leaning to Pat Bryant a little bit, and what I think is going to be a little bit more of a shootout in Jacksonville, Denver than Kansas City, Tennessee. Let's see here. Rudy Smith on X, Carter or Tyrone Tracy. I will go with Tracy. I like the spot for him. Really has kind of become the guy now once they lost Scadaboo. Breezy, Gaddison, or Warren. I will go with Warren. I'm not in on the Gaddison hype for this week. I get it. It's a decent matchup, but I think you're going to see more of the receivers in Ladd and Keenan Allen and QJ if he's healthy. If not, it's Trey Harris, as well as the running backs. I just don't. I'm not in totally on Gaddison blowing up this week, so I'm avoiding him. Don't worry about it. Marks or Jordan. If Marks is out, Estimate Adonai Mitchell, pick 2. So I'd go 80 and probably Estimate. Craig, Jackson Dart, or Dak Prescott. I would go with Dak. Bob Duffy, Ibuka, or Higgins. I will go with T there. Ralph, Bowers, or Pitts. I will go with Bowers. Let's see here. Would you play T. Higgins over any of these guys? So we got Lamb, London, or Hampton. So I would play him over Hampton. Patrick Phone, Estimate, or AD Mitchell. I would probably go AD there. Professor Feinser, need to flex full PPR. Jordan Addison, 80 Mitchell, Audric Esme, Tyler Warren. Okay, so we need 2. So I like 80 there, and I would probably go Warren. No, it hasn't been a great run for Warren, but still a little bit in on him. 4 passing, 6 rushing. Dak, Bro, Purdy, Brissett. Also, who had the safest floor and who has the highest ceiling? Purdy's my highest ranked player, so I would say he has the highest ceiling as well as kind of the floor. Good spot for 49ers today. Brissett is a little concerning. I mean, he's pretty much balled out against anybody they play, but Atlanta's decent there against the pass, so a little concerned. We've seen Burrow and Dak have huge variance in their game as well, so I don't know if there's really a safest floor. The safest floor is maybe Brissett because they're probably going to pass enough, and he's shown to have a fairly safe floor. I think the ceiling probably, I guess, like I said, it's Purdy. He's the highest ranked for me of that group. Maybe it's Burrow if he explodes, but so I guess maybe Burrow you could say is the ceiling, just isn't ranked there for me. So I guess, yeah, probably Burrow, and then Brissett would be the safest floor. Highest ranked, which kind of is the midline there, would be Brock Purdy for me, David. Let's see here. Abuka or Estime for 24th. That's a hard thing to say. That would be Abuka. You, Bucky Irving, Etienne, and Henderson. Which 2 do I start out of the 3? That's interesting. Etienne and Irving. It's a good room right there, you. Travis Swenson, Fannin, or Waller. I would go with Darren Waller. I think Quinn Ewers likely targets the tight end position fairly heavily there. So big non-stick, JMO or Mike Evans facing Amon-Ra. Well, I would still go Jameson Williams despite the Amon-Ra information. Pick 2 of these 3 for Joe, Jameson T and Michael Wilson. So it'd be JMO and T Higgins. Not in on Michael Wilson. I know that it's been a good run, but history tells us when Marvin Harrison's active, it's not going to be a good day for Michael Wilson. Again, I know he's limited, so it might be a little better, but just can't trust it. Carl, need 1 at flex. Jefferson, Schultz, Butte, Higgins, Carter, or Estime, and that is Jaden Higgins. So I'm going to go to Justin Jefferson. Play him. Good matchup. I know it hasn't been great, but I'd hate for this to be the week Jefferson goes off. So Genty or Estime would be Ashton Genty. I like him now that Gino's likely back. Jag, need 1 at flex. Kincaid, Ty Johnson, Kirk, Calvin, Austin. Yikes, Jag. That's a rough go. I guess we'll go Kincaid. Truly don't like any of them, but we'll roll with it. Kyle Kuzma, half point PPR, pick 1, Jameson, Pickens, or ETN. I'll go ETN there. Defense, Minnesota, Tennessee, or Falcons. I will go with Minnesota. Let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. Kansas City or New Orleans defense. I will go with KC. Justin ranking these 4 running backs a few spots to fill. Henderson, Dowdle, Judkins, ETN. So ETN, Henderson, Dowdle, Judkins for me. Let's see here. Purdy or Goff for Brian would be Brock Purdy. Dio, full point PPR, Jalen Waddle, BTJ, or Keenan Allen. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going to go with Keenan Allen there, Dio. It's wild, I know, but I'm going to. Marks the injury or estimate Carter, Pollard, Coker, 80, Mitchell, Hollywood, Addison. I'm already starting Wilson and McBride. Oof. Okay. Probably Pollard, David. Yeah, just based on volume, we've seen him have some pretty good weeks. I know it's not like the best matchup in the world for the Titans, but yeah, I think I'll go with Pollard here. The other play would maybe be Coker or AD Mitchell, kind of like in that middle of your group there. Yeah, but I think I lean to Pollard. Let's see here. Jason, wide receiver and flex pick 2. London, Jameson Williams, Mike Evans, T. Higgins. So I'd go London and Jameson Williams. Kyle Pitts or Kelsey. I will go Kelsey. Chow, Carter, Estimate, Tracy, or Jennings. I would go with Jennings there. Lamar or Dart for Pedro. I would go Lamar. Derrick Henry, Travion Henderson, Nico Collins, pick 2. Nico and Henry. Robert Tex, any changes? We'll skip that one. Hard to do on here. Quantavious, Genty, or Michael Carter. We'll go Genty for that. Let's see here. London, Williams, McCaffrey, McBride. McMillan is in the lineup. He's got Harvey on the bench. That's not a good play. I'll go. Okay, Mr. Maya guy. Pick 2, Fannin, Abuka, or Coker. I would go Abuka and Coker. Also, PPR League, Diggs, BTJ, or Coker. I will go with Coker. TY, Sutton, Aaron Jones, or Woody Marks have PPR. I'll go with Cortland Sutton there. I like the spot against this Jags secondary. And then Dart or Shuck would be a Jackson Dart. Greg, Coker, or Worthy. I would go Coker. No. Will Harris, half PPR, Hall, Estimate, or Vidal. Would be Brees Hall for me. Brandon Wallenberg, Theo, or Gaddison. I will go with Theo Johnson there. ETN, Pickens, T, and Flex would be ETN. Let's see here. Rasheen, ETN, or Aaron Jones's Flex would be ETN. Nick, Marks, Evans, Harvey, Aaron Jones, or London, pick 3. So we got London, Evans, and Harvey. Flipper of the coin. Good morning. How you doing? Sorry, missed you last week. I know. Probably excited to be back. I am. I can tell you that much. Back at the grind. Brad, Drake London, or Michael Wilson would be Drake London. Holmes and Watkins, Bucky Irving, or Chase Brown. So I would go with Irving there. Dolphins are actually sneakily kind of decent against the run, so just saying. Ty, would you start Schultz over Fannin, even though I also have Nico Collins? That answer is yes. I like Dalton Schultz today. Mikey, good morning. Evans or Metcalf? I would go DK, and then Bucky or Henry. I would go Bucky. It's close, but that's where I'm at. Ken, what's up? Good morning. Gaddison or Warren? I'm in Tyler Warren. I know it's been a little bit of a rough go. I think as the weeks go on here, we'll see the old man Rivers start to spread the ball about a bit. I think Warren is going to be a key for them to get involved in this passing attack. I'm not buying Gaddison this week either, so I'm just in on Tyler Warren a little more. For where the coin start to Dowdle, Marks, or Pollard. Rico Dowdle's the must start here. Probably go to Pollard to avoid the Marks injury concerns. So I'd probably do Dowdle and Pollard there. And then need a flex Waddle or Michael Wilson. Ooh. Probably Waddle. Don't love the spot for him with Ewers, but I don't love Wilson either with Marvin Harrison Jr. active. So probably going to go with Waddle a little bit there. Flip of the coin. Mike Anderson, estimate or London would be London. And then Juwan Johnson or Schultz would be Dalton Schultz for me. Refresh the page. Sorry, folks. Okay. Let's see here. Shrey Gainish. Any changes? Please hold, people. There must be a picture somewhere. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the only play we got here is Coker over Michael Wilson, maybe for him. Brittany on X, start to Henry, Dowdle, Gainwell, Michael Carter, Adonai Mitchell, Keenan Allen, or Sutton. Ooh, that's a tough one. Got to play Derrick Henry. So that takes away one of them. Dowdle, Gainwell, Carter, Adonai, Allen, or Sutton. And then it's going to be Cortland Sutton for me there, Brittany. Like the spot for both these guys. And then, sorry, I'm not sitting Derrick Henry. Some people maybe got the stones to do it, but I'm not. Andrew Sears, Sutton, T-Mac, Harvey's got to sit one. Would probably be T-Mac. A little bit more variance than it would be for Sutton. Trevor Bellinger, pick one, half PPR. Marvin Harrison Jr., estimate, or Carter. We'll go Marvin Harrison Jr. We'll hope for the touchdown, right? Let's see here. Urvesius Desi, pick two, Waddle, Warren, Pollard, half PPR. Yikes. I guess Waddle and Pollard. Those are some tough plays for you. You're Vesey. Nessie's okay. Brissett or Dart. I would go with Jackson Dart. JR, T-Mac, Marvin Harrison Jr., Wilson, Jennings can only start two. Okay, so Jennings and T-Mac for me. JR. All right, Chris, leave one on the bench today. Abuka, Drake London, Chris Godwin, George Pickens, Kyle Pitts, Kittle. I think, Chris, you got to make the choice between the Bucs receivers here. Whether you like Godwin or Abuka better. I think I would probably sit Abuka. But if you prefer Godwin, I'm fine with it. Ranked very similar for me. London is a kind of a must start if he plays. Pickens, I know it's been a rough go. Must start still. Pitts, we're just off a historic game. I know it's a tougher matchup. London may be back, still playing him. Kittle, must start. So it's between Abuka and Godwin. I lean to sitting Ibuka, but that's me. Flipper of the coin, Herbert or Burrow. I like Burrow. I know the matchup's good for Justin Herbert, but it's been a rough go with the hand injury, so I'm going to stay with Burrow. Herbert could have a good game, but I lean to Burrow. Safer play to me. Maybe not, I guess. Burrow tanked us last week. Eliminated me in a couple spots, but, hopefully it's better this week. Nix, Dak, or Jacoby at quarterback, pick 2. Wide receivers 1, running backs 1, flex. Okay, so we'll handle the quarterback here first. Reset season. I would go with Dak. Close second is Nix. Let me just double check that. Something in my head tells me I'm wrong with my right. No, I'm right. Dak. I like Dak. I know it's a tough matchup. Still think I lean to him a little bit there. Henderson, Judkins. Why can't I? There we go. Henderson, Judkins, Sutton, T, Wandell, and Jacoby. You need 2 wide receivers, 1 running back, 1 flex. Running back is Henderson for sure. Their reset season. Don't sit him. Pick 2 would be Sutton and T. Higgins. As far as your flex goes, I think I'm going to go Wandell Robinson. Reset season. Like the spot for him. Easy PPR machine. Likely a little bit of a play from behind situation there. Judkins, the game script scares me. I like him. He's a startable option for me in a lot of spots, but there's a chance he gets scripted out like he has in the past few weeks where it's, single digit points because he's just not getting the end zone, not seeing the passing work that you would hope. So Henderson feels like that lock in that running back. Wide receivers are easily Sutton, T. Higgins. So you're looking at flex. Wandell seems like the most interesting to me in that spot for you. Bowers or Waller would still be Bowers. I know it's a tough matchup. People have mentioned it. This is kind of a common question this morning, flipper of the coin. Waller may see volume, but I just don't believe in Quinn Ewers, so I am going to ride with Brock Bowers. Let's see here. Winston bets, pick 1, T-Mac, Jacoby, or Michael Carter. That would be T-Mac for me. Let's see here. Have Waddle at flex, or should I put in Jones Sr., Carter, or Wandell Robinson at flex? I would go with Jones over Waddle. Carlos Gonzalez at wide receiver 2. DK, AD, Mitchell, Shakir. I have DK in the lineup right now. I think I'd go AD there. And that's shimmery DK, not DK Metcalf for those listening at home. Eric Stevens Moore, would you change anything? A full PPR. So we got Bucky Irving in, Evans in, McBride, Henderson, Brown, McCaffrey, and London. So you got Robinson, Ibuka, Pickens. Oh, Pickens. Nah. No. Let's see here. Malik Washington, Jalen McMillan, or Eric Pierce at wide receiver. Washington, McMillan, or Pierce. Yikes. Blackball, the net. I'm gonna go Washington. Playing on the old adage of like the secondary receiver with the secondary quarterback kind of vibe. That's kind of my play, I guess. If you want to, if you care for my thoughts and feelings. Zach, Kelsey, or Fannin? I would go with Kelsey. Waddle or Carter? I would go Carter. Maybe everybody should just start Waddle. I'm very much against him, and that just seems like a bad formula, right? Juju, Lorette, Molia. Good morning. Estime, Waller, Kincaid, or Franklin? I would go with Estime. Upside seems the best out of this. Franklin, I know we just had the big game. Bryant's active. As long as he's active, I believe he's not, doesn't even have a designation, so should be active. Kind of relegates him again. So Estime, Waller, Kincaid's really your only play here. Kincaid, the injury is concerning. We saw Knox explode, so iffy there as well. Waller has a quarterback concern, so I'm probably going Estime. What should be a close game there. Should have plenty of opportunity potentially to get in that end zone. Higher ceiling week 16 here for Chris. Baker Mayfield, Tyler Shuck, or Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers. No, I'm just joking, Chris. Do not start Phillip Rivers. I would go with Baker Mayfield there for you, Chris. Emilio Gonzalez, Trevion Henderson, or Javante in PPR. I'm gonna go Javante. I like Trevion today. I have Javante higher ranked at the moment. I like the spot for him. I think Javante probably finds the end zone. As long as he's not too banged up and doesn't re-aggravate an injury, I'm going to stay with Javante there for you. Dart or Rogers for Ken would be Jackson Dart. I know it's a tough matchup against Minnesota, but I think he'll be all right. Rushing kind of saves him a little bit there as well. No problem, flipper the coin. Anytime. I'm here. Here till about 12:30. So if you need to come back, got an hour. Emilio Gonzalez, Marvin Harrison Jr., or Johnson at wide receiver 3. Marvin Harrison Jr. Easily there for me, Emilio. You're welcome, Juju. Drake on X, Lad, Olave, or Chase Brown. I would go with Olave. Philly sports are cursed. I don't know if you're really that cursed. I'm just saying. Look at the background. We're cursed. Audric Estimate, Tony Pollard, Jalen Warren. Which one do I sit? That would be Warren. No. I feel like every sports fan feels like their team's cursed, though. Am I right? I feel like that. X Hubbard, Jordan, Spears. I'll go with Chuba Hubbard. The battle of the backup running backs. Big Ham, Evans, Wilson, or London. Start 2. Sit Wilson. Ben Branduini. Purdy or Dak would be Purdy, and then Purdy or Lamar would be Lamar. Sosa, Hampton, or T-Mac. I am on the boat of T-Mac now at this point. Sosa. Dylan Sosa. Start 2 of these 4 wide receivers. BTJ, Warren, Woody Marks, Michael Carter. So we need 2. I will go Carter and BTJ. Henry, Michael Carter, or Marion Hampton would be Carter. Pickens or ETN would be Travis Etienne. JR, Estimate, or Carter. I will go with Michael Carter. Alvarez, stay with. Oh, wait. Start Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., or Abuka. I would go Abuka. JD Hearn, Waddle, or Wilson. Waddle. And then Herbert or Brissett would be Brissett for you, JD. Ken, I would go Tyler Warren over Gaddison for you there. I think Warren will get more involved this week. I'm just not buying the Gaddison hype. I just don't. I'm not buying it. At least this week. I think he's a good player, but this week in the matchup, I'm not buying it. Michael Yoder need to sit one of these guys in full PPR. Chase Brown, Trevion Henderson, J-Mo. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd go Chase Brown. It's probably a guy I'd sit down. Miami's pretty sneakily decent against the running backs in the ground game, so I will go with Chase Brown sitting on my bench. Roshia, Lad McConkey, or Abuka. I would go Lad. Inzers, Juwan Johnson, or Waller. I will go with Waller. JMO or Evans for 4PL hits would be Jamison Williams. Start Bo or Dax. I think that's supposed to be Dak Prescott. I don't know who Dax is, but we'll go with Dak. Dak or Burrow full PPR points for long plays. I have CD and Jamar and stack either way. I would go with Dak. For Dalton, Greg Bates. My second flex, Zay Flowers, Michael Carter, Tony Pollard, or BTJ. I would say Flowers and quarterback Lamar or Jackson Dart. I would go with Lamar. Saragi, Y. Have Judkins, Sutton, T. Higgins, ETN, and Jawan Jennings. Need 1 wide receiver, 2 flex from them. So Sutton, Jennings, and ETN. Scrolling, scrolling. Please hold. Where is what I was looking for? Na 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 na. Lost my spot. Please hold. Here we go. Devonta Smith. Oh, yo, what's up, dog? Full PPR, May or Burrow would be May. Pats or Giants. I will go with, I guess, the New York Giants. McCarthy could turn it over, right? Franklin or Theo Johnson for Dr. Mathis would be Theo. Let's see here. Buddy of Crypto Elf. Oh, that's kind of cool. New Orleans, KC. I would go with New Orleans. Abuka or Michael Carter. I will go with Carter. Let's see here. Knicks or May. I would still go Drake May. I don't know why people are so concerned about Knicks and May. Woody Marks, Marvin Harrison Jr., or Keenan Allen. I'll actually go Allen there, Lance. I like the spot for him today. Where, oh, where is this that I was looking for? Sorry, I think I missed one. Can't find it. Dun, 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 dun. Paste. Sorry, some minor things going on here. Okay. Let's see here. Nino Pena. What's up, Nino? Need two, JMO, T. Higgins, Harvey, and Marks. Okay, so Harvey's a start for me. Top 15 running back. Kind of trumps both the receivers a little bit. Probably Jamison Williams, though, would be my second. Was the highest of them. I do like T. Higgins a little bit today, but I do lean to Jamison Williams, which should be a pretty good shootout for them against the Pittsburgh secondary. And then Harvey feels like a guy that should find the end zone for the Broncos today. So those would be my two. RM start 2, half PPR. Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Coker, Jaden Higgins, and Harold Fannin. So Wan'Dale Robinson would be one for me. And then I lean to Coker a little bit. I like spot from Higgins is interesting. But I do lean to Wan'Dale and Coker there for you, RM. Rocky Patel, Stranger Waller in PPR league. I would go with Darren Waller. I like the spot. I'm leaning towards a rookie quarterback, kind of peppering the tight end position. It's kind of at least where I'm at there. Brian Joe on X is Goff or Bo Nix. I would go with Bo Nix. Tet or Evans for Jared, sorry. Oh my God, Gerald, jeez. Making up names here now. I'm sorry, Jared. Jerry Dart or Burrow, 2 points, rushing attempts. Oh, that's interesting. It's an interesting format. I will still go with Burrow. AD Mitchell, Estimate, Addison start 2, 80, and Estimate. Fantasy Ursay, London, Metcalf, or Wilson. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going to go with DK. DK. Space A, Purdy versus Lawrence would be Purdy. Diggs, Coker, or Franklin. I will go Coker. Judkins or Aaron Jones. I'll take a shot in Judkins there, Space 8. Close, but I'll take that shot. Let's see here. Didn't CD ref. Pick one wide receiver, 2 flex options, and a tight end. Whoa. Keenan Allen, Waddle, Coker, Estime, Stevenson, Schultz, or Ferguson. Okay, so we need 1 wide receiver, 2 flexes, and a tight end. Okay, so the wide receiver will go Allen. 2 flex options. I will go Coker, Waddle, or Estime. And then I will take Schultz as the tight end. Oof, that was a lot. Baker versus Stroud for Dr. Vince. I will go Stroud. Waddle, Tet, or Marvin Harrison Jr. I will go T-Mac, Hampton, Judkins, or Michael Carter. I will go Judkins. Pick one of each. Also, you can choose any 2. That was confusing. Last part of that question. Ace, Higgins, Sutton, or Woody Marks would be Sutton and Higgins. T, Hampton, Harvey, Dowdell, Sutton. Pick 2 would be Sutton and Harvey. Andrew Mac, Isaac, Fannin, Marks, Carter. Pick 2. Marks and Carter. Judkins or Myers for David Nichols. I will go with Myers. Brissett or Purdy would be Purdy. Full PPR, Jawan Johnson or Gaddison. Jawan, Flex, Shakir, Keenan Allen, or Estime. Allen. Estime, Addison, or Coker for Carlos. I'll go Estime. Jake, full PPR pick 3. Ladd, Olave, Evans, Jamison, Williams, Sutton. So I would go Jamo, Sutton, and Olave. Let's see here. T-Mac or Dowdle would be T-Mac. Burrow, Goff, or May would be May. I think Dowdle and May. I agree with you, sir. Lamar or Brissett for James Alexander would be Lamar. Not Kamar. Lamar. Dun, 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 dun. You're welcome, RM. And also, would you do Estimate or Jalen Warren? I would do Estimate over Jalen Warren for you there, RM. Don't really like Jalen Warren today against Detroit. So, G, start 2, sit 2. Genty, Higgins, Tracy, Marks. So, Tracy and Genty. Playing with a lead in a standard league. One of these 4 for my flex, please. Warren, Estimate, 80, Mitchell, Waller. I'll go Estimate. Let's see here. Dowdle, Pickens, Marks, Sutton need to start 2 full PPR. Sutton and Pickens. Let's see here. I've got Evans, Wandell, Bowers available. Don't know who to flex. Flowers, Lad, Lamb are my must starts. So no who to put in as my second flex option right now. I have Evans plugged in. I'm assuming Bucks are gonna. Yeah, I agree. I would play Evans over those players. Jalen Warren or Darren Waller. Yikes. I suppose we'll go Waller. Lauren Hayden, Sutton, or Wandell would be Sutton, Lauren. Steve Shank, DK, or Olave. I'm going to go Olave. Henderson or ETN would be ETN for you, Steve. Luke, Stroud, or Burrow. I would go Burrow. Worthy, Amika Buka, or Michael Carter. I would do Abuka. Sutton or Olave for Braden. I would do Olave. Olaminasu, Flex, Coker, Estime, or Egbuka. I would go Estime. Taylor, May, or Burrow. I would be May. D-Money, Diggs, Sutton, Estime, 80 Mitchell, pick 2 would be Sutton and Estime. Bo Nix or Dart. I would go Nix. Broncos fan, ETN, Jones, Marks, Michael Carter, pick 2 would be ETN and Jones. And keep Landon Flex or play one of these running backs. Let's see here. Gio Ortiz, PPR, need 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 flex. Michael Wilson, Evans, Tat, Rico, Woody, Hampton. Thanks for the help. So Evans, running back would be Rico, and then it would be T-Mac as the flex. Matt Robinson, Pollard or Diggs, full point PPR, and Ferguson or Pitts, full point PPR. Matt, so I would roll with Pollard over Diggs, and then I would roll Pitts over Ferguson. Easy as that. Silva, Poppy, Warren, or Estime. I would go with Estime over Warren here. Yeah, I don't believe in Jalen Warren against Detroit. I know they've been a little bit softer in the last few weeks, but still a tough defense. So I'm going with Estime. T and Buskets, Estime or Keenan Allen. Go with Estime. Mark, Jalen Warren, Tyler Warren, or AD Mitchell. I would go with Tyler Warren. Pollard or Estime. I would go Pollard for Uncle Bobby. Goose, Kincaid, or Strange. I would go Kincaid. John, Leatherman, Ladd, Zay, or Dowdell in flex would be Ladd. Need 1 more in a flex. So 1 more wide receiver in a flex between Jameson, Evans, and Henderson. I would go Jamo and Evans. Tracy or Hampton. Oh, that one doesn't exist anymore. Let's see here. Don't worry about it. Pick 1. Ooh, Cousins, Ewers, Sanders, Minshew, Rivers, Cook, Geno. We'll go Cousins. Dak or CJ Stroud for Sanja would be Dak. Brissett or Dak would be Dak. And then ETN or Chase Brown would be ETN for me. Let's see here. Ben Naskin, Pitts, or Fannin would be Pitts. Pick 1, Slim Reaper, Abuka, Gainwell, Estime, or Addison. We'll go Estime. Okay, let's see here. Pick 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Waller, Carter, and Johnston. So I guess Marvin Harrison Jr. and Waller. Lamar or Stroud. Would go Lamar. Tet or Michael Carter would be T-Mac. Gary's only projected to be down by 15 in facing Puka. Now, that's impressive. A lot of teams are way down more than 15, Jerry. I need 3 of these guys: Harvey, Judkins, Marks, Tet, and Edi Mitchell. So I would go Harvey, T-Mac, and probably Judkins. Jonathan, pick 3: Olave, Jefferson, Javante, Etienne. So Etienne, Olave, Williams. Pickens or McConkey for Mr. Kidda would be Pickens. Marvin Harrison Jr. or Aaron Jones would be Jones. Coker, Pittman, or Estime. I will ride with Coker. Braden, Dak, or Lamar. Braden, I would go with Dak over Lamar here for you. I like the spot. I know it's a little tough matchup. Lamar's been disappointing. Dak can still throw the football. I know it's a tough matchup, but he's been fairly consistent as far as production goes. So I am riding that, even though it's a tough matchup. Lee Becker, Hall, or Michael Carter, and also Travis Kelce or Schultz. I would go Hall over Carter. 2 good spots, I guess. Hall feels safer, better matchup. Carter still could see DeMercado come involved here, so I'm going to go with Hall. And then Kelce and Schultz, I would go with Kelce over Schultz. Although I do like Schultz, I do lean to Travis Kelce. Rice is out. No Mahomes. Minshew's probably going to just feed Travis Kelce a little bit, is my guess. Braden, Pickens, and or Sutton. I would go George Pickens. I do like both of these. I see the conundrum, but I do lean to George Pickens again because I do think that Dak has a good day. And if they're on the same team, stacking Dak and Pickens could be a nice go. Moonsman, hey, yeah, my apologies. I don't know, Moonsman, if you're on X. I posted it in there. Had some stuff going on. Couldn't get on here live ahead of time. So, yeah, I'm sorry. But I'm here. Now I can get you into the finals. That's the goal here in week 16. Estimate Gaddison, Warren, or Waller. I would go with probably Estimate. Good chance he scores. It's kind of what we're leaning on here. Your tight ends and a third string running back. You're looking at the touchdown kind of production, and I think Estimate probably has the best chance. Good matchup there. Yeah, so I think I would go with Estimate. No problem, Lee. Alrighty here. Bills, Saints, or Chiefs defense and special teams. I will go with the Bills. Max, choose one. McConkey, McMillan, or T. Higgins. I would go with T-Mac there. Waller or Andrews for Cameron Jackson would be Waller. Joseph Sy, Pollard, Estime, or Algier. I'll go with Estime there. Jay Bolliware, pick one. Hall, Fanning Jr., or Carter would be Hall. Also pick one of Javante or Jawan Jennings. Excuse me, I would go Javante. Let's see here. DK, Hampton, Coker for Austin. We would go DK there. AD Mitchell or Jaden Higgins. I'll go with Higgins there. Let's see here. Hollywood, BTJ, Gaddison, or Strange. I guess Gaddison. Don't really like any of them, to be honest, Joseph. Joseph, McCarthy, or Minshew. I'll go JJ McCarthy. Daniel, 2 out of Marks, Gainwell, and Judkins. So I'll go Judkins and Marks. What are we at here? Oh, it's almost noon. Assuming the inactives are out. Is Woody Marks playing? Braden, Haley, Fergie, or Johnson. Last one. I would go Juwan Johnson, Braden. Ferguson, it was a big drop off there with the injury. They may limit him again this week. We'll have to see. But I think Johnson's probably the safer play there. Ace Boogie, Higgins, Sutton, Woody Marks, start 2, bench 1. Higgins and Sutton for me. How about this one? Let's see here. So we got Genty, Gibbs, Herbert, Olave, Pickens, Evans. It's a good spot there. Diggs, Abuka, Estime. Dun, 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 dun. Anthony Coker, AD Mitchell, or Pittman. I'll go Pittman. Schultz, Waller, Gaddison would be Schultz for me. Justin James, Aaron Jones, or Ladd. I will go with Ladd. Judkins or Genty for TJ. I will go with Judkins. Hunter Henry or Warren for flex. I would go Warren. And Lions or Falcons D. I'll go with the Lions. Estime or AD Mitchell for Jason. I will go with Estime. Start 1, Carter, Estime, Monty, or Chubb. I will go Carter. Ferguson or Waller for Ivan would be Waller. Myers or Waddle would be Myers. Dowdle or Hampton would be Dowdle. Nix or Dak. I would go with Dak there. Abuka or Waddle would be Abuka. Etienne or Hampton for Josh would be Etienne. Myers or Judkins for David. I would go Judkins. Playing with the lead in standard league. One of these 4 for me. Warren, Estime, AD Mitchell, or Waller. I would go Estime, I suppose, with a lead. Michael Wilson or Olave for the marbles. Olave, Sean. Superflex Rivers or Tracy for Jeff. I would go Tracy. Don't always got to play 2 quarterbacks. It's a good thing with Superflex. Vexrus, Judkins, Evans, Michael Wilson. Start 2, Judkins and Evans. Gainwell, DK, or T. Higgins would be DK. Burrow or Dak. I would go Burrow. Half-point PPR for Roy, Mitchell, or Estime. I would go Estime. Let's see here. Adam, Estime, Harrison, Kincaid, start 1. I'll go Estime. Need to flex PPR 10 team Olave, Hampton, Jennings, T-Mac. Olave and Jennings for me. Riley, Penfield, pick 2, T. Higgins, Pickens, Ibuka, Wilson. Pickens and T. Higgins for me. Dan Cormier, PPR, Diggs, Carter, Coker, Gainwell, or Harrison. Ooh, I guess Carter. Dakota Vern. Let's see here. Jefferson, Warren, Carter. Pick 1. Jefferson. Lose 12, Allen or May. Gainwell or Michael Carter for Zen would be Carter. Xavier Worthy, full PPR against Ibuka. Could also play both and bench Dowdle. Zachary Caldron, start 2, Harvey, Gainwell, Michael Carter, Pollard would be Harvey and Carter. Burrow or Purdy for Tyler would be Purdy. Ladd or Coker would be Ladd. Lamar or Stroud would be Lamar. Dak or Nix would be Dak. Ashton Genty, Michael Carter would be Genty. For Tyler. Dun, dun. Dan Cormier, Wilson, Carter, Warren, McMillan would be T-Mac. Mason, Carter, or Estime. I'll go with Mason there. I like Mason. I think he finds the end zone. Godwin or Thomas Jr. would be Godwin. I think BTJ sees too much Patrick Surtain. Lenwood, Heat. Who should I start in my flex? Gaddison, Coker, Diggs, or Pittman? I would go with Pittman. I think he's a little more involved this week than last. That's Jerry, pick 2, Evans, T, and Sutton. So Evans and T-Mac. Pick 1, Carter, estimate Judkins. I would probably go Judkins. Start 1, Harvey, T. Higgins, Jennings, Metcalf. Ooh, that's tough. I will go Jennings. Estimate or Harvey would be Harvey. Olave or Henderson for JRH would be Olave. Higgins or Jennings for Vols season would be Jennings. Half PPR, Ferguson or Waller would be Waller. Flex, Jordan Mason, Ibuka, Adonai Mitchell, or Waller would be Mason. 80 Mitchell or Coker for AE would be AD. Wilson, Jefferson, or Evans. JJ and Evans. Dun, dun, dun. Joe, London, or Derrick Henry? I will say Henry. Burrow or Baker would be Burrow. Ibuka or Worthy would be Ibuka. Marvin Harrison Jr. or Wilson would be Marvin Harrison Jr. Moonsman, Jones, Dowdle, Tracy Sutton need 1 running back, 1 flex. I'll go Dowdell at running. Oh, Tracy. Oh man. I want Sutton in my flex. I like Sutton today. So it's really coming down to the running backs, which is a little tough because I like all 3. I'm going to actually go Tracy. there, Moonsman. I think that's the play. Oscar, start 2 running backs and a flex at wide receiver. Brees, O'Marion, RJ Pickens, Marvin Harrison. So RJ Harvey and Brees Hall would be my running backs. My wide receiver. So it'd be Brees Hall, RJ Pickens, Marvin Harrison Jr., Oscar. That's my order. JB, start 2 of these. Pickens, Marvin Harrison Jr., or Wilson and Hampton. Pickens and Hampton. Bijan, Algier Keenan, or Tyler Warren in flex. Oh, okay. Starting Bijan, Algier Keenan, Tyler Warren in flex. I will go Allen. Brissett or Goff, 6-point passing touchdowns would be Goff. Purdy or Brissett for Rally Sports would be Purdy. Javonte or Michael Wilson would be Williams. Bryce Young or Tyler Shuck. I will go with Young. Waddle or Theo in standard for Cameron would be Theo. Gaddison or Kincaid at tight end. I'll go Kincaid for Carlos. Pick 2, Hampton, Wilson, Rico, or Evans. Rico and Evans. Justin, Waddle, or Pitts. I would do Pitts. Judkins, Hampton, Michael Carter. I would say Judkins. Aaron Jones, Juwan Jennings. I would say Jennings for Riley. Need 2, Judkins, Henry, Dowdle, Irving, and Henry. Pittman, Marvin Harrison Jr., Dowdle. I would go Dowdell. Ariel pick 2, Waddle, AD Mitchell, Dowdle, Schultz. Would be Dowdle and AD. Waller or Kelsey. Be Kelsey. Michael Carter or Marks would be Carter. I think we caught up. What is this? I'm fairly caught up at this point. Dang, that never happens. MSK 2000. Start 1, Derrick Henry, Judkins, or DK Metcalf. Ooh, that's tough. So it's between DK or Derrick Henry for me, MSK. I think I'm going to lean to Henry, like the chances he scores against New England, more than DK. I do like DK a lot, though. So if you're going between maybe those two, maybe pick your best of those two. Judkins I can rule out pretty easily amongst this group. So Henry or Metcalf, I lean to Henry. All right. You're welcome, Moonsman. 2 of my 4 semi teams are 95% done after Thursday, Saturday games. Hopefully, at least one team makes it to the ship. Hey, you never know. All right, you never know, Moonsman. All right, I got. I think 2 of my teams that are kind of in that situation. I don't remember if I have anybody who played, but I know I had played against Caleb and Darnold, and they got like a 50-point head start on me coming into the day. And the other one, I don't remember who it is, but I think I have another one that's similarly. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a lot of Puka. I play mostly Dynasty, and I've had Puka for a bit, and so that helps drastically with a majority of my playoff teams. But yeah, so I'm doing okay. I'm not gonna lie. We'll see, but I'm rooting for you, Moons, man. Whoever you need gets the points. Okay, it'll happen. I'm telling you, they'll come back. Jenna Pacchina, Waller or Dawson Knox would be Waller. Vinny, need 2, please. Warren, Gainwell, T-Mac, Michael Carter would be T-Mac and Carter. Woods or Worthy? I think it's supposed to be Woody. We will go with Woody there over Worthy. Vidal or Bowers at flex. I would go Bowers. Whoa. If the computer cooperates. Bowers. Dak or Tyler Shuck would be Dak. Aaron Jones, Ashton Genty. I would go with Jones. Purdy or Brissett would be Purdy. Corey Mason, Jacoby Brissett, or Dak would be Dak. Flex Judkins, Henderson, T. Higgins, or DK Metcalf. Ooh, that's tough. We'll go DK. Dun, 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 dun. May over Burrow for Conrad. Start 2, Purdy, Burrow, Nix, Mayfield. Purdy and Burrow. Brock Purdy or Joe Burrow would be Purdy. Let's see here. Zach Abernathy, Michael Wilson, Travion Henderson would be Henderson. T-Mac or Aaron Jones would be T-Mac. Boston Hemp Inc. Chuba, Woody, or Montgomery? I guess Woody. Brissett, Burrow, or Purdy would be Purdy. Midge, Waller, Gaddison would be Waller. Okay, so we are closing in. It looks like we have answered most of the questions. Let's see here. MSK, you're welcome. Yeah, it's working at 12:15, and we'll probably kick out here a touch early. We got Dak or Baker here. We got Dak there. I appreciate everybody who tuned in this week. Much appreciated. Again, sorry I missed last week. I will be here next weekend. Hopefully everybody has a good holiday, Christmas if it's celebrated, etc. Take care, and yeah, we'll see you guys all next week. Peace.